I'm pretty vocal about my anxiety as of late because it's good to be vocal about it. And I really wasn't aware of it, to be honest. I mean, I think I was, but I wasn't. Like, I don't know. Like, I think I've for so long thought I was battling depression, and I come from a genetic line of depression stuff. And many people, myself included, have thought, oh, well, I never want to talk about any of that stuff. And that was very clear with me. I never ever want to talk about that because I never ever want to think that I have a genetic component. But I was working yesterday, and I thought to myself, I almost started crying because this particular job, because it's basically self-employment. I've never been more aware of my anxiety. And I thought to myself, I wonder what my life would have been like if my anxiety had been acknowledged and addressed earlier in life. I'm only 50. I just turned 50. Plenty of life to live. And you find out things when you're supposed to find out, but I can't help but wonder and just reflect of like, wow, how maybe better or worse would my life have been if we had known about my anxiety and how it's crippling. My anxiety, and I believe that anxiety is a control issue. Things are out of control. You feel anxious. Mine leads to anger blow-ups and walk-away shutdowns. Some of that is behavior that I watched growing up. Some of that is just inherent behavior. But mine is shut down and walk away. Very violent anger, though. Not physically violent, but just very like, rah, like a volcano. And I say this very often. And I don't think it's excusable. When the volcano goes off, it erupts. And you feel great afterwards because you've gotten all this emotion out. But what we often find is after the volcano erupts and the lava of emotion overflows, beneath it is a town left in devastation and destruction, left to recover, left to like, what happened? What just happened? People say often, well, you're just expressing emotion. I don't excuse that. I probably overpunish myself a little bit for it, but I don't buy that excuse. I don't buy that like, well, I was just upset. And that's what I did. I'm emotional. If you're hurting other people in the process, I would say that you're abusive. If you're hurting other people in the process of your emotional outburst, that's abuse. I fight and I struggle with my anxiety because I can be emotionally abusive when my anxiety gets out of control. That's not acceptable. And I don't buy this line of like, well, that's just me. That's just me. I've said that. Well, that's just me. And if nobody likes it, I'm just going to be all alone. Fuck them. I don't think that that's okay. And I've said this recently, and I said, what happens is you will end up all alone. People will walk away. You'll be remembered as, oh, he's a great person, or she. But until they're not, Think about it. Address anxiety. Talk about emotion. Write it down. Writing is probably the most cathartic, most therapeutic way to actually do it. Make a video. You have a phone in your hand, make a video. You don't have to post it anywhere. Just make it for yourself. Go back and watch it later. I have tons and tons of video. And multiple, because you have many phones and many computers now. And I'll go back, like a video will pop up, and I'm like, wow. Wow. That's where I was at that time. That's what I was thinking at that time. I don't punish myself for it. I don't whatever. It's like, oh. I'm vocal about my anxiety and what happens when I'm anxious because I don't want the rest of my life to be ruined by my anxiety. Because life's pretty great. It's fun to be alive. I also talk about it because there's lots of different ways to handle anxiety. Most people handle anxiety in their early years and young years, drinking and doing drugs. I loved drinking and doing drugs, just to be honest. I loved it. But when I reflect on it, another line that comes up recently is I'll say, I'll just say it out loud to myself, I'm so fucking glad I'm sober right now. And I didn't get sober because I thought I had a drinking problem. I just got bored of drinking and doing drugs, got old, get sick of being sick and tired. And as troubling as something can be, I love dealing with things head on. I've had a bunch of stuff in the past 3 months that's life-altering, major anxiety. I just deal with it. I just face it. Think about it. I love you. Thanks for watching. Feel free, if you ever need to, you can leave questions in the comments or statements in the comments. Need somebody to talk to. I like to listen. I don't really have very many answers, but sometimes when we share things get better. Love you. Bye.